Hey there, did you drop dirty on a DOT drug test? Don't you worry, I've got your back. My name's Cindy, I'm a DOT qualified SAP, and I help drivers get back on the road after a DOT violation. So let's talk about this. If you get a violation like a dirty drug screen, the MRO has 3 business days to enter it into the clearinghouse. And once the violation is in there, you'll log into your dashboard and you'll see a red box that says prohibited. That means now you have to go through the SAP process. So what typically happens is your employer will give you a list of SAPs, or they'll say, go find a SAP, right? Okay, where do you find that at? There's a directory called SAPlist.com, and you can go in there and screen by zip code to find a SAP near you, because you have to have a SAP that is licensed in your state, so and you'll meet with the SAP either in person or remote like this. So you'll look for a SAP, call them up. Here's what I encourage people to do. Make sure the SAP is a good fit. Make sure they are a DOT qualified SAP and they know the process, because that way there will be no hiccups and you will get through the system quickly, So anyways, let's say you found your SAP. So you send them a request in the clearinghouse. They'll accept it on their side. You probably have already scheduled the SAP assessment, right? And that's typically like a Zoom call, or in person. They'll ask you some questions about the violation, like what happened. They'll get some information from you regarding the date, the type of test, and the employer that the test was completed for, because that we need that for the paperwork. And then they'll also get your history regarding, your background with substances. And then they will come up with a recommendation. DOT says the SAP has to recommend a minimum of substance abuse education up through treatment if the person needs that. And treatment can mean many things. It can mean counseling, 12-step meetings, intensive outpatient, or actually even inpatient treatment, right? So the SAP will be able to decide based on what's the best level of care for you. Once you get the initial letter from the SAP, it'll say, hey, we met this day and here's my recommendation. You'll go work on the recommendation, right? The SAP will give you a couple providers, typically, like for myself, I try to connect drivers up with ones that take their insurance if they have insurance, or low cost options, because I recognize the driver is off work. So I'm hoping most SAPs do that. Anyways, you'll go take care of the recommendation. Then you will come back to the SAP for a follow-up meeting, the second meeting. That's just generating the return to duty eligibility paperwork. So you have this meeting with the SAP to make sure you're ready for return to duty, to get back on the road safe, and in a healthy way. Also, after that meeting, that generates the return to duty paperwork, but also the SAP will update the clearinghouse. We'll move it to step 5. Now, step 5 in the clearinghouse is when an employer or drug testing consortium sends you for the return to duty test. When that negative comes back from the lab, they will enter it into the clearinghouse. That'll check off step 5. And then, since November 2024, Clearinghouse 2 update came into effect, which means once step 5 is checked off in the clearinghouse, you will go down to your local motor vehicle, pay a reinstatement fee, and they'll turn the CDL back on. And then you can drive during the follow-up testing plan, which the SAP creates after that follow-up meeting with you. So a follow-up testing plan is extra tests in addition to the randoms you already do. And let me clear up this question, because this came up the other day. The SAP does not get the follow-up testing results. All of the follow-up testing plan and the results are held by your employer or drug testing consortium if you're an owner-operator. But basically, they take care of that plan. And so when the follow-up testing plan is done, the employer will go back into the clearinghouse, enter the end date, and that'll check off step 6. The violation will be completed, and so it won't be an active violation, but it will stay on on the clearinghouse record for 5 years. So employers will be able to see it. I always tell drivers to think of it sort of like a speeding ticket on your driving record. It stays on there a minute, right? So anyways, that's the process. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments, and subscribe to the channel, because I'll be continuing to make SAP content. So really, if you tested dirty, it'll be okay. You'll be able to get through this, and yeah, I guess that's about it. So